El futuro tiene nada más que la confrontación.
Hey, welcome to Unpopular Opinion. I'm your host, Adam Todd Brown. I used to write a bunch of weekly columns for a bunch of internet places, and I would use those columns to put forth all sorts of crazy opinions. Then I would come on this show to defend those opinions. But now, I don't do anything at all ever. Joining me today, oh man, I got to do it live this time. He is my co-host on this podcast. He hosts a couple of podcasts of his own. See, doing it live. He was just on a Netflix show called Bullshit. Or was he? Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff May. Also joining me, she is a fantastic comedian. She wrote a book. She hosts a podcast called Crawl Space. She also hosts a podcast with Jeff called We Have a Podcast. And, you know, if there's anything else to know, you'll hear it on the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Kym Kral. It's going to be a great show. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Unpopular Opinion. I'm your host, Adam Todd Brown. Joining me as co-host, Netflix television sensation Jeff May is here.
Yeah, I was on the Netflix.
Jeff was on the television. Jeff, how's it going?
Good. It's a mixed bag of experiences in the past week and a half to 2 weeks. Great. Yeah, it was Wednesday was an interesting day because the expectation was that they were going to show my thing and then they edited it so it looked like I lost. So that was interesting and, you know, involved me sending a lot of very concerned emails to some people being like, am I going to get the thing, what I won? Like, what did the contract say? And they're like, you're going to get your money.
Yeah, that would have been crazy if you didn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would have been like, hey, that's not cool.
I don't think legally they could have done that. They can legally.
I don't know what the contract, like I forgot what the contract said.
Yeah, it might have been one of the Motown contracts. Jeff might have owed them the money if he didn't win it on camera.
Yeah, but
that's my fantasy is that like when someone's on Jeopardy and they're like 5,600 in the hole at the end, you just owe that money to Alex Trebek.
Just Alex Trebek just beating the Christ out of you until you pay up.
That's your fantasy is to watch some random person pay Alex Trebek $5,600 on Jeopardy.
Oh
yes. Yeah, literal fantasy. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, we should also introduce our guest. Kym Kral is here.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Hey.
Kym, what'd you do on TV last week?
Probably tried to
I
date
was
a
not on
millionaire
TV last week. I guess Jeff wins this competition.
It's not.
He gets so mad.
Although I did win a competition.
Which leads me to believe that he does want to win a competition.
I did win a competition. I won so much money.
We know you are special and a winner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that is actually true.
What are we talking about?
Oh, some hard shit, man.
Hard
chicks.
Shit.
Dude. Chicks.
Talking about women, bruh.
Bro.
The episode is titled Free Brittney Griner. And we are certainly talking about Brittney Griner, but also a couple other women who are also in some weird legal jeopardy is, I guess, one way to put it. Brittney Griner especially is not getting a ton of attention.
Like purposefully so.
Right. She's being kind of sold out by the WNBA. Brittney Griner is a WNBA player. She is a WNBA star. She's one of the best players in the WNBA. She was one of the best college basketball players.
She's won 2 medals too.
I bet I could beat her. I bet I could beat her in basketball.
Yeah.
2 times a week is too many times.
Those fucking guys. Those guys. Love those guys.
Oh, yeah. And in this case, no, you can't. She is.
No, she's 6'9".
Nice. Right?
Oh, God, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, she's 6'9".
She can dunk. Like, she can dunk easily.
Like she can like walk up to the thing and just be like,
yeah, she could just like kind of set it up there.
I've read about Brittney, but you're right, it hasn't been at all covered. But I like have this news thing that emails me every day with like all the news, even like little news stories. Little, it's not little, but according to mainstream media.
Like I know about it because I mean, we're talking about it. And you're right. There's headlines every once in a while. The only outlet that is talking about it regularly is ESPN. But even then, it's only because there's one show called Jalen and Jacoby, which is hosted by Jalen Rose and David Jacoby. It actually started as a podcast, and it basically is just a video podcast now, but they also release a podcast version.
I mean, that's pretty much what most ESPN shows are.
Yeah. But they're actually kind of one of the pioneers in that. They started their podcast, I think, in 2012. So like around the same time we did. And don't end every episode. They just at some point on every episode mention Brittney Griner and that she is still being detained in Russia, because we haven't mentioned what exactly happened to her. She, right around the start of the war in Ukraine, she was taken into custody at an airport in Russia after she is alleged to have been found with weed vape cartridges in her luggage. And she's a political prisoner at this point.
Yeah.
Like I don't think many people have even seen her or talked to her. Like, she's alive. I think we know she's alive and probably being treated fine. Like, I don't think Russia is going to push the issue and like shove bamboo shoots under her fingernails or anything, but she's being held in prison over weed cartridges, and it's because of the war, and it gives Russia a bargaining chip.
I can't believe that Russia wouldn't do the bamboo shoot thing.
I also don't know if her not being treated well is accurate. She's a gay black woman in Russia
but she's still a pawn.
Like, for sure. But I'm saying, like, they don't notoriously take good care of people that don't look Slavic or are a part of, the LGBTQ community. So she's probably alive, but I would say they're fine.
Probably treating her well, primarily because they understand the political ramifications of what would happen if they don't.
This is a more tense situation, though. I wouldn't put it past them, but it would be crazy. Like, it would be a good way to really escalate this war. But either way, you have to hand it to Russia in that they really know how to pick a political prisoner, because this makes for a very uncomfortable story for most of the people involved. And that's because the reason this isn't getting more attention is it opens up this whole can of worms about why Brittney Griner is in Russia. And the reason, if you can believe it, has to do with the fact that
she's dating Putin.
Right. Yeah, she is one of Putin's daughters that we sanctioned.
Yeah.
No, the WNBA, as compared to the NBA, if you can believe it, does not pay well at all. The average salary in the NBA, $7.5 million. The average salary in the WNBA, $120,000. So just barely enough to comfortably live as a single person in Los Angeles. Like, that's a really famous statistic that people throw out all the time. It's from an article that was published a couple years ago, but it takes $100,000 a year to live comfortably in LA as a single person, like without roommates, without having to live in your car, all of that.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's like a generalization, but Also, not the point.
Yeah.
The average salary in the WNBA is $120,000.
That's wild.
The highest, there are 14 players who make $200,000 or more. And I think all of them make $228,000, I think, something like that. And those are just like the superstars, like the Michael Jordans of the WNBA, basically, like Diana Taurasi and Brianna Stewart.
I don't know who it is.
I don't know.
Do you want to still look
You
it
know
up?
why you don't know?
Brittney Griner.
She's a woman.
Because it's the WNBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I take your punchline? Sorry.
No.
I mean, is everyone else wearing a WNBA hoodie?
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Follow the WNBA before this story?
I didn't follow the WNBA. I mean, before this story like just started a couple months ago.
Yeah.
The thing that made me start sort of following the WNBA is Chicago won a championship last year. The Chicago Sky. Candace Parker returned. She is from Chicago and she played elsewhere for most of her career, came back to Chicago and won a goddamn championship. So I started following that like near the end of that season.
Nice. I mean, it sucks. The salary issue is obviously a big problem, but it's also that really does sort of illustrate the weird disparity in how these sports are money-making entities in such a weird way.
Yeah. And the problem with the WNBA is that average salary, that $7.5 million average salary. If they were like baseball or football or the NHL, which all have average salaries in the like $400,000 to $500,000 range, then you could kind of make an argument that, well, obviously the WNBA brings in less money, so the average salary is going to be lower. If we're talking $400,000 to $100,000, maybe you can make that argument. But $7.5 million?
Is it because there's less players on the team? Because like a football team, that's got
basketball can work that way.
40? What's every football game? How many people?
Well, no, that's why basketball has a higher average salary.
Yeah,
because there's fewer. That's why basketball was able to operate in a bubble so well. Where football, baseball, it wouldn't have worked. There's too many moving parts.
Oh, I didn't know that basketball has less players and people in the operation as a whole. I didn't know that. The
bench is like 11, isn't it?
Yeah, there's something like 11 or 12 people on any basketball team, whereas with football teams, it's like 50 something.
55.
How many people are on a court? I don't know much about basketball, so forgive me. How many people are on a court at a time? Like how many people are able to play at a time on a team?
Both teams or per team?
I mean, I could do the math if you can tell me why.
Five per team. 5 per team.
So 10 people on the court at a time. And then there's about 12 people on each team.
Their bench is something like 11.
Very small person.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay. So that makes sense why the salaries can be higher.
Right. What doesn't make sense is the WNBA is owned by the NBA.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of them not sharing revenue the same way with the female players. And that is literally what it is. There was an article that came out recently. I'll find it and link to it. I don't know why I didn't put it in the notes, but if they shared revenue the same with the WNBA as they do with the NBA, I think the highest paid player would be something like 900,000, which is a shit ton better than 200,000. And
I get your argument. Like you said, if it wasn't 7.5 million, I understand that the NBA brings more money in than the WNBA.
We're going to fact check that.
Yeah. Do you want to fact check that? I don't think I have to, but I get that. But like you said, like that's so millions of dollars over hundreds of that. Like that's crazy.
It's wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of WNBA fans.
And it's,
I mean, not as many as NBA, but I don't know. It's sad why she's over there. That's the reason why she's. And then also you made a point, I think, or I read one of the things you made a point that like, because of the war is the only, like, she's probably been traveling over to Russia for years with weed on her. And
Yeah, what happens is because of this salary disparity, a lot of WNBA players end up playing overseas. And the most lucrative place to play is Russia. And she probably has been traveling with weed this whole time because whatever shady oligarch owns the team she plays for was keeping her protected. But in a situation like this, that's a card that's really easy to pull. If you know there is a prominent American athlete, person of color, she's LGBTQ, that's really easy to just, she's going to be going through the airport with weed. All you got to do is pull that card one time and go, all right, arrest her. And like the United States can get mad, but like Russia can just be like, law's the law.
And there's nothing we really can do diplomatically, right? To like help prisoners in other, like a country like Russia.
Like broke down palace. Yeah.
Well, we did we do prisoner swaps all the time.
We just swap somebody who was in for like 3 years or something. I read it briefly, like 4 days ago, but we just swapped them.
We're going to get we're going to trade a spy for a basketball player that this country doesn't respect.
Yeah.
How old is Brittney? I didn't look that up.
Oh,
she's got to be in her 20s.
Yeah.
That's so fucking sad.
I think she's older than that because she was playing at Baylor.
Okay.
While ago.
But still so young. That's so fucking scary. 31. Thanks, Mike.
30s. Yeah. And so WNBA players have to go play over there to make a living. And it, like, one more thing about the pay disparity, the G League, which is basically the NBA's minor leagues,
baby,
their average salary is $37,000, which that makes sense. Like if you get into any minor leagues and ask the players what they're making, it's like fucking working at Best Buy money.
Podcaster money.
But if you get called up to the NBA, it's usually going to be on a 10-day contract, and you're paid for those 10 days. You're paid a prorated amount of the average salary. And again, that average salary is $7.5 million. So if you're in the G League and you get called up, you're probably going to make more in 10 days than most WNBA players will make in a season, which that is fucked up. Like that is nuts that they can just
put this out there. Rude.
It is. It's a bad business practice. It's one of those things. The NBA gets held up as being a really progressive example of a sports league. And they are to some degree, but they also have to be.
Yeah.
Because in terms, like, as far as sports leagues go, there is none that is dominated by people of color the way the NBA.
This is not the 50s here.
Yeah, it's not even close. But once you get into issues like this, when it comes to paying women, or when it comes to China, like
when it comes to money.
Yeah, Daryl Morey, who was the GM of the Houston Rockets at the time, tweeted something about how, maybe China should stop killing Muslims and sending them to re-education camps and committing genocide.
Jesus. And
China was like, we will kick the NBA out of our country if you don't get this guy under control. And
God,
the NBA got him under control. Fucking LeBron, I think at one point tweeted something about how Daryl Morey should mind his business. And it's like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Jesus, really, LeBron?
Everybody has a spine until their money is brought into it, and then you see what happens. Because obviously, people are like, "I got to pay my bills," but then at the same time, it's like, "What are you using your platform for?"
Yeah, and it's ending up being the same thing with Brittney Griner. The WNBA and a lot of sports media in general is just not talking about this. And the argument is, well, we don't want to exacerbate the situation and make her less safe. And it's like, for one, more attention on what's happening to her is not going to make her less safe.
That's what I was wondering when I read that. I was like, I feel like putting more attention.
Absolutely. The more people that know what Russia's doing, the better, because that puts more pressure on Russia to do the right thing.
And our government to try to push things along too. Yeah.
But the NBA doesn't really want people talking about this because, again, the can of worms it opens in terms of pay disparity, because that's a thing, like you hear about it in soccer all the time.
Yeah.
And in women's soccer, they had a valid point and they fought over it, and they got, I mean, they have disagreed on whether the settlement they got is appropriate or goes far enough, but they did get some kind of compensation in that fight. That
one was weird to me because as far as America goes, and in that sort of version of soccer with the pay disparity, it's like, don't the women generate more revenue though?
That's what I was just going to say. They're like, but they also had to win like a ton of championships before people acknowledged that the U.S. women's soccer team was like actually
but
better than everybody in the world or whatever.
But beyond that too, like, it's just that women's soccer is more popular in America as far as like the international competitions go.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Like, I can name so many female soccer players. I can name like Alexi Lawless, and he hasn't played in 24 years as far as dudes in America.
Yeah, I have no idea. I couldn't name a single U.S. men's national team player, but yeah, the women are all fucking superstars. So
Hope Solo, she beating up her whole family and still knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, that's the thing. The one woman soccer player who's mad about the settlement they reached is Hope Solo. And it is hard jumping on Hope Solo's side.
Like, she beat up her family? I don't know anything about soccer.
Hope Solo is a character.
She is a beautiful monster.
Yeah.
The best kind.
Beautiful woman who beats the shit out of her family.
Oh, less the best kind.
Yeah,
let me take that back.
She's a whole problem. I remember near the end of her time, I think she ended up getting hurt and had to retire. But I remember near the end of her run, people were like, hey, while we're canceling people, what about fucking Hope Solo, who's still our goalkeeper on the women's national team?
And they're like, but she's really good. And it's like, didn't she like beat the shit out of her family? And we're like, yep.
Yeah, and it's not like, oh, she slapped her husband and it's like, well, fair is fair. No, she beat up a teen. I think it was like her nephew.
It was like, it was a whole
beat up process. Her nephew?
Beat up someone very young. I don't know the details. I don't want to defame Hope Solo.
Who cares?
I feel like Hope Solo did that to herself.
But she like, beat up a teen.
Yeah. So in the chat, Mike saying her half sister and her nephew. Like, she was like barroom brawling her family and winning, because you don't go up against America's goalie.
No, you sure
don't. I guess the half sister and nephew thought they could together.
Yeah. Good luck landing those punches. Not going to happen.
That's all I'm saying, though, is I can change her. Give me a chance.
My God.
I'd be good. I'd be good. She'd throw punches. I could block them. It would be like a neutralization thing. But with women soccer players, it's a good example. Like, I can, Mia Hamm and Brandi Chastain and Rapinoe and like all these people that are like really high profile. One dude, it was like Alexi Lawless because he looked like the Spin Doctors guy.
Yeah. Like, reading the story, honestly, like, reading the disparities between going back to the NBA and WNBA, women we get paid less and we're less respected there. We're starting to come up and be more equal, I guess, but like, of course that's how it is. You know what I mean? Like, as a woman, I read that stuff and I'm like, well, yeah, that's how it is everywhere. We have to like fight for, we still make less on the dollar in corporate America still, don't we? Like 70 cents on the dollar or something like that.
Yeah.
Too much, if I say.
I didn't
just want us cooking dinner, popping out babies, not learning to read.
I didn't look into it, and I won't because we don't have time. But if I had to guess, I bet the major sport with the most equality in pay is probably tennis, because it seems like
That makes sense
I
to me.
think they win like if you win a major, I don't think the difference between what a man wins and a woman wins that much. Let me watch. I'll check, and it'll be like, oh.
I'm going to assume it is individual sports, like the solo sports, like your golfs, and I would say even maybe to a lesser extent, but UFC. When you look at like the real high money earners in UFC.
Everyone's
you think so?
$5,000 a year in the UFC.
Yeah.
How much? I don't know how much they make in the UFC.
It's you either make like nothing or you make like $6 million a fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what a weird thing to dedicate your life to then. Like, because that just,
getting kicked in the face.
Sure. Yeah. If you don't, I mean, I guess if you're really good, I don't know. I know nothing of UFC.
All right. Should we, so free Brittney Griner.
That sucks, dude. Yeah.
People talk about it more. Tell people about it. Ask people if they've heard about Brittney Griner, and if they haven't, tell them what's going on. Tell them to look into it.
We can just all take our free Brittney shirts that we were going to throw in the recycling, and we can just reskin them a little bit, and we're fine.
Have to add a second T, but then people will know which Brittney you're referring to.
Wait, isn't Brittney Griner NA too? Isn't it TNA?
TNA, yeah, it is TNA. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I hate that I said that. I hate that I said that so much.
But no, it's NEY.
Huh?
It's her name is BRTT.
Will Americans care now that it's not a white pop star that they masturbated to?
No, and that's the thing that when I was Corey Bush said the same thing. Like this would have if this was a white woman, it would probably have way more.
Oh yeah, if this was Sue Bird. Oh man.
Who?
Sue Bird, who is married to Megan Rapinoe.
I don't know who either of those people are.
Megan Rapinoe plays for the U.S. women's national team. Sue Bird is one of the winningest and most decorated professional basketball players of all time.
She's got medals.
She's got medals. Her college team at UConn went undefeated one season and won a national championship. She's won WNBA championships. If this was
she won the Golden Gloves.
Yeah, if this was a white woman, we'd give more of a fuck as a country.
Here's the thing: Sue Bird wouldn't have to play in Russia because Sue Bird gets crazy endorsement deals. Like she's in a Corona commercial right now with. Okay, Adam, you can do it. Devin Booker, Vince Carter, Christian Leitner, and Sue Bird, and they're arguing about which shade of blue is the best because one of them went to Kentucky, which was Devin Booker. Christian Leitner went to Duke. Vince Carter went to North Carolina, and Sue Bird went to UConn.
In Stores Mansfield.
Right.
And it's all blue, but different shades of blue.
I
do want to say before we move on that I looked up when I saw that Brittney was 6'9". I'm 5'11", and I was like, holy shit. Yeah, I'm not a boy. So when I saw 6'9", I did not go, hey. Nice. I know. I just went, oh my God, she's 6'9". And then I Googled the tallest woman in the world. She's 7'7", and we have the same birthday.
Wow.
Wow.
That's huge. Happy birthday to that lady.
Yeah. Congratulations to that lady having the same birthday as Kym Kral. We should probably wrap this up, right?
Yeah.
Kym, do you have anything to plug?
What do I have to plug? I wrote a book called Confessions of a Recovering Party Girl. You can get that on Amazon, or you can get that at my website, and I'll sign it for you at kymkral.com. I have my own podcast, Kym Kral Space, or just Kral Space. My name is Kym Kral.
Unlicensed podcast.
It's unlicensed. Oh my God. Kral Space. And I'm around telling jokes here and there, but just check my website for dates because
You can listen to Kral Space at patreon.com/Kym Kral.
Yes. And if you don't want to get that, I also want regular listeners too, if you don't want to get on the Patreon. I would love it if you were on the Patreon, but I also would love it if you listened to the regular one.
Jeff, do you have anything to plug?
I have cool friends. I have a show called Jeff Has Cool Friends available at patreon.com/Jeff May. You get that show. You also get Ugh Fine with Kym Kral, a monthly podcast where Kym and I talk about our month, and we try to maintain a healthy relationship while arguing aggressively. You can check that out again. Patreon.com/Jeff May. Ugfine also available on Kym's Patreon. So patreon.com/Kym Kral as well. Tom and Jeff watch Batman on the Gamefully Unemployed Network. And of course, You Don't Even Like Sports, a sports podcast about how Kym doesn't even like sports, available on the Unpopular Opinion Network. You can watch bullshit on Netflix. It's not the full story of what happened for me, but I'm on there. I get a couple of bits in here and there.
You can also get all of Jeff and Kym's podcasts on the Unpops Patreon.
No,
I post pretty much everyone I know. I post their podcast ad free.
Really?
No.
Oh,
no, I don't have the license. I didn't pay for the right license.
Yeah. You can't license out that. You know poacher.
What? You guys have just made it so I will never believe or trust anything you say. Before
when did you start believing me?
Yeah. That's the question there.
Is that on me? All right.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have going on, Adam?
Patreon.com/unpops, unpopsnetwork.supercast.tech. Follow the show at Unpops on Twitter and Instagram, or it's unpops.podcast on Instagram. And, I'll have some other stuff to plug soon.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be on a TV show.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Adam, don't assume.
Yeah. I don't want to get too fucking talky about it, but
it's a cold game.
Couple weeks.
Show business.
Fuck yeah.
I'm gonna be on a season finale, I think.
Really? Oh, tell me when and what.
I will. And I think that is it. Should we get out of here? I think we should. Kym, say goodbye.
Adam, bye guys. Bye. Thanks for having me.
Jeff, say goodbye.
You get the podcast licensor rookie card, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. We love you.
Not real.
I hate you.